I Care Because You Do is the third studio album by English electronic musician Richard D. James under the alias Aphex Twin, released on April 24, 1995. The album contains various tracks recorded by James between 1990 and 1994. Rolling Stone described the album's sound as not having much to do with modern techno music of the era, stating it closer to avant-garde and classical composers like John Cage or Philip Glass, as well as being influenced by drum and bass music that was gaining popularity in the United Kingdom at the time. On its release, I Care Because You Do peaked at 24th position on the UK Albums Chart. The album received positive reviews on its release, with Entertainment Weekly, Spin, and Rolling Stone finding it a greater album than James' previous work, Selected Ambient Works Volume II. Production: each track on I Care Because You Do is annotated with a date, revealing that the tracks were created between 1990 and 1994. Style: Rolling Stone stated, I Care Because You Do music had little to do with techno and any of its more popular guises, and that James' music was more appropriately comparable to John Cage or Philip Glass than Moby or The Orb, and that the album is where James' music became denser and stranger. The magazine also noted that the music on the album drew most strongly from hip-hop. James' trademark is to put rhythm and percussion above all else. Rolling Stone later stated in 2004 the increasingly active drum backing was inspired by the presence of drum and bass music in the United Kingdom. Release: I Care Because You Do was released on April 24, 1995. It was released on vinyl, compact disc and cassette. It charted for 2 weeks in the United Kingdom, peaking at number 24 on the UK Albums Chart. I Care Because You Do was reissued on vinyl by the record label 1972 on September 18, 2012. Warp also reissued the album in vinyl with a download card on October 8, 2012. Reception: Select referred to it as James' best album since Surfing on Sine Waves and his most coherent one to date. The review stated that James had the ability to make the avant-garde sound pop, and that he delivers complex contemporary systems music in the most deliciously simple forms. The Sydney Morning Herald gave a positive review, as ever, his palette of sound is astonishing, his arrangements effective and deliberate. Entertainment Weekly praised the album and called it superior to Selected Ambient Works Volume II, which was described as a snooze. The review went on to note that this album creates sounds that are simultaneously comforting and scary, a fitting metaphor for the contemporary clash of technology and the humans befuddled by it. Spin noted that album was superior to Selected Ambient Works Volume II as it cut the middle of techno-esque kitchen sink aesthetic without sacrificing melody coherence or rhythm. Spin also noted that to hear truly great works by James, you would still need to purchase Selected Ambient Works 85 €92. Rolling Stone gave the album a rating of 4 out of 5 stars, stating that James was making some of the most engaging and important music of our time. Select later placed the album at 42nd place on their list of the best albums of 1995, referring to the album as left field, soundpop brilliance. In a retrospective of James' work in the Rolling Stone Album Guide, I Care Because You Do was rated 3.5 stars out of 5. This retrospective review found tracks that were new or were the best ones. Track listing. Credits: the album credits only state that everything by Richard D. James. Self-portrait painted by me. Charts. See also, 1995 in music, music of the United Kingdom. Notes. References. External links. I Care Because You Do at the Warp Records website.